Hey, welcome back to the third part of the chicken bag. When we left last time, we had got up to the 10 plain rows, and then we had a decrease row, and then we had to do 9 more plain rows. So that's where I'm at with this one. And it's got, hopefully you can see it, it comes in and then up. And it's a good size for a bag. I think it might look a bit high to you, but we have to close up for the neck, which will bring it right in. So we don't want the bag too small. That's why we've done that. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find our axle stitch. Now, what I mean by axle stitch is if you look on the bag, you can see that that's our beginning chain down there. We need to find the exact edge so that that is in the middle, so folding it in half basically. So I've done that with here, and then I've crocheted up to there. My actual starting and stopping was back here, but I wanted to give myself a little bit more height, so I crocheted to here. So this black marker is in my axle stitch. So I'll turn it this way, and I will actually just put it into the side of the stitch so we can see it still, but still work, like so. Just like that, so we can still work. Now what you have to do is you need to single crochet 10, and then you need to count 10 stitches back from your marker. So I'll get another marker, and we need to count 10 stitches back. We're not going to count the stitch we're on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's right there. So that's back from your marker. And the cat's awake, and now we'll pick up this. So we're going to single crochet 10, because we didn't count it here, we're counting it there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, making sure you don't split your yarn and get both strands as well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then what you want to do, it says here, make for marker and then single crochet 10 back to marker. Now the way you do this, if you've made the other chicken, it is the same way of making the neck. Our neck stitch will be the one that we marked in, and the easiest way to do it is to turn your work all the way around so that your yarn's in the right place, and then reach across. Fold this up and reach into that stitch. Try and keep this as tight as you can. Pick up the stitch and finish it off. Take this out because it's going to get really annoying. And then crochet back to where we started. It's another 10 stitches, so you should have 20 stitches in all to make the separation of the neck. Work your way back. Try not to catch the other side, it's very easy to do. Just working on the top. We're totally ignoring the rest of the bag. We're just doing this part. This part makes your neck up to the head. And one more. And there. So let's just put the marker on so I can show you. And there it is. So we've now separated out the neck part from the body part. The only other separation we're going to do, but not at the moment, is we're just going to do one for the tail and where the strap connects. So that's that done there. So let's just move this across. So that's what we've just done. So the next thing you want to do is we want to go 29, 30, 31. We want to do single crochet all the way around for those 3 rows. Okay, and I'll be back when I've done that to tell you what to do next. So here we are. I have done the 3 rows. That's where our first row that we put the axle stitch marker in. So I've done those. So the next thing you want to do is you want to single crochet and then single crochet 2 together. We're doing this all the way around because we're in a spiral. We're just going to keep going around doing that instruction until there are 8 stitches left. Once there is only 8 stitches left, you want to single crochet 2 together until you have 4 stitches left. So basically we're doing it 4 times. And then you'll cut off your yarn with a long tail. Sew the stitches that are left, the 4 over here, together so the join is in line on the top of the head, which I'll show you here on this one. So when I got up to here, I did my join here, so when I sew the comb on, it will cover that join and people won't see it. So I will go ahead and do that on mine, and when we come back we will need a small piece of material about 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, or I think it's about 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, about that big. You will need some stuffing, and you will need a wool needle or a material needle, one that you could get some thread yarn through. Okay, I'll be back to do that. Hi, hope you're liking the video. Just me popping in to ask you if you would mind to subscribe. It's free, it's no obligation, you can stop at any time that you like. Liking and sharing the video also helps the channel. But if you'd like to contribute more, there is also the super thanks button down the bottom. Anything would help. It helps us buy yarn, helps keep creating stuff. And if you actually happen to see a hype button underneath the video, it's not there all the time. It's only when the video is freshly out. If you could press the hype button, that will also help us get seen by more people. Anyway, back to the video. So that has been done. And as you can see, there's my join, and I've done it basically in line with the opening because that's where the comb's going to be. That's still where we started for today's part, so I can take that off now because we don't need that. I have my piece of material, and what we need to do now is we need to stuff the neck, but we're only stuffing to around here, and we want to stuff it fairly firmly. So I'm just using this polyester stuffing. It's actually a pillow. Sometimes it's cheaper to get a pillow than it is to buy stuffing. And just push it up with your hands. You've got to try and get it up as far and as tight as you can get. Don't worry too much about seeing the stuffing because we're going to be putting eyes, beak and comb on here. So I'm just pushing it up, pushing it up. I need a bit more. You really want to get this as firm as you can get it. If it bulges out, doesn't matter. Okay, so now, hopefully I'm in the right spot. We need to go like this. And that's there. Looks a bit rude, but doesn't matter. And we're tucking all this stuffing in. Now, if you're holding it level, as in this part where my finger is level with the top, we want the stuffing to be almost bulging out. So I'm actually going to put a little bit more in. I can't stress enough, you want this as tightly packed as you can make it. Don't be silly and go and get tools to do it. As tight as your hands can do it. Okay, I think that'll be enough. So that's fairly firmly in there. Now, there it is. This is my bit of calico. Now, doesn't really matter which way you put it on. I usually go that way, so this part here, which will be the longest, is up where the join is. And you want to tuck it in. Tuck all the raw edges inside your neck of your chicken. We don't want to see any raw edges. And what this will do, it'll stop the stuffing coming out and it'll stop other things coming up there. So make sure you can't see any raw edges. Try and keep it fairly evenly situated. All right, so that's that part there. A little bit of raw edges there. And then find my needle. There it is. What I use for doing it is I have this needle here. Now I'll try and turn it. It's actually a leather needle. It has a triangular point. It's sharper than a wool needle, but it's not as sharp as a material needle. And what it does is it forces its way through the weave or through the yarn without cutting it. Makes it a lot easier to sew through fabric, sew through thicker things. Okay, so if you can come across one of these, that's good. Next best thing would be a chenille needle, which is used in embroidery because it has a bigger hole. Now, if you find pulling your yarn through the material too hard for you, you can use cotton, but I tend to use what the bag is made of because then I know it's not going to cut it. Because cotton is sometimes a bit too hard to use against yarn. And now all we're going to do with this, put your thumb on it so it's not going to keep moving. We're going to take a little bit of the material, tuck your tail into the back of it, and then a little bit of the bag. Little bit of the material and a little bit of the bag. And you work your way all the way around, keeping your thumb on it so that it's not going to change its position. And this will secure the stuffing into the head of your chicken. Now I'll just do this one stitch and then I'll lift it up a bit so you can see. See my stitches, there's one there, and one there. So work your way all the way around and secure your end and put your ends into the stuffing, and I'll be back to show you how to put the eyes on. There's my, what do we call it, underhead platform sewn in. So I just did a whip stitch all the way around, just taking a little bit from either side like I said, and then up here I slip stitched a knot and then put the ends into the stuffing. So we flip it back out and we will see that we now have an upright head and neck. You can see a little indentation here, but that will go once the bag starts being used. That will spread out and will be fine. The next thing we want to do, I just want to put that like that so you can see it better, is we have our eyes. Now hopefully you can see this. That was the pattern for making the eyes. So we used 2 8-plies held together or 1 12-ply. We were using the same hook that we've done the rest of the bird in, or the bag in. Magic ring, single crochet 6. We're working a spiral. Then you want to single crochet 2 in each one to make 12. Then a full row, just 1 in each one. And then single crochet decrease 6 times. So that will give you back to 6. And then you just use your needle and stuff them. So I have actually done 2 now. And one lot of string is shorter than the other lot. And I've tied the knot and then put the string out to the side. Because what I like to do is I sew the eyes together, then I sew them on the chicken. That way they stay at good spacing, because a chicken is a predator animal, so your eyes need to be facing forward. No, other way. For this, they're facing forward. It's not a predator animal, it's a prey animal. They're on the side. Anyway, whatever. Get your needle and thread up your yarn. I'm sure people in the comments will tell me whether I was right or wrong. They're on the side. Yes, they are. On the side is the prey animal. Right. So I'm going to have that string coming out there. That's my knot. So we turn it over. We want the magic ring in the middle as best we can. And then we want to stitch down through there. Make sure that you have the magic ring forward, because that's where we're going to put our iris and our pupil. Did you know what the name for the white part of your eye is called? It is called a sclera. There we go. Right, so let's just join those two together. And what I do now is I will separate one of those off, thread the needle up again, do one more pass with just the single thread, and then tie a knot. Don't put it in your mouth. So just a simple knot. All right, and then we can actually just cut that off. That's nice and close in. So that is our 2 eyeballs joined. All this string everywhere. And now we want to put this on the chicken. As I said, I'm going to have the eyes facing forward because that's how I like my chickens. Now this here is the join of the 4 stitches. So you want it a little bit lower than that. You want to thread up your needle. Now I'm not going to show you the whole sewing because it's the same thing all the way around. But just thread up the needle. Oh, actually, just remember they've got to do something before I do that. We've got to put the pupils in. You can't put the pupils in when it's already on the chicken. So get some black. Thread that up. Good thing I remembered that before I sewed it on. So you just want, oh, I don't know, about 40 centimeters worth. Where is it? There it is. And you want the yarn doubled into your needle. Put a little knot at the end. Make sure it's even. And you want to come from the back out through the magic circle. Now it's probably all white and you can't see it, but you should see it when the black comes through. So we're not coming out in the center of the magic circle, we're coming just off the side of it. Alright, pull that through. Now we want to go under, over, and down again. And I think it's called a colonial knot or it's a French knot. Anyway, it makes a knot on the surface when the yarn's not being annoying. There we go. There's one. And then you want to slide your needle across to the other side. Don't go for the iris, go for the back because otherwise it'll pull your iris off skew. So we do the same on the other side. Poke it through, not quite in the center, but as close to the center without being in the center. Alright, flatten it out a bit. So behind, on top, and then down. Down through the middle of the magic circle. And there we have our 2 eyeballs with pupils. You can, of course, make them bigger than that. That's all I generally do. Chooks look crazy enough without really crazy eyebrows. Right, cut that off. Get the thread back. And now we can put it on the chook. So I'm just threading up the longer string that I left on the other eyeball with both threads. Yep. And you just do the same thing we did with the material. I have to turn this around. Keep the eyes where you want them so that we can see where we're sewing. Right there. So I'm going to come back a bit because I actually want them protruding. There we go. Make sure we're still in the right spot. Yes. So same as material, a little bit from the body, a little bit from the eyeball. And you work around following the shape of the eyeball, bringing it to the body. A little bit from the eyeball and a little bit from the body. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing this and then I'll be back to show you the next thing. So here are my eyes all connected. I went all the way around, quite firmly joining them up, and then I hid the ends inside. Yes, they look like a pair of boobies, but whatever. So the next thing you need to do is we need to make the beak and the comb. Now I'll show you on this one. This is the beak and this is the comb. Now it goes all the way down there. It's quite large. So I have written out the instructions and I actually made one of the comb already. So this is the comb. So it's chain 12. Move it across a little bit. chain 12, half double crochet in third chain, single crochet in the next chain, skip 1, double crochet 5, and that's what makes the fan shaped part here. Skip 1, single crochet, skip 1, double crochet 5, skip 1, single crochet in end, and end off with a long tail. And where this one goes is it will sit. You can even sew it on if you'd like. You get the smallest bump and you want to put that between the eyes here and sew it on. Now I did all of my stitches into the back bump of the chain. You don't have to, but I find it gives you a better platform to stitch to. So you want to sew that on like it looks like a mohawk, okay? Using the same type of stitches we put the eyes on with. And you can do that yourself, but I will show you on the next video because I'll sew that on the beginning of the next video. Other thing is the beak. Now all this is the beginning of a granny square. We start with a magic ring, chain 3, then we do 2 double crochets, and then we chain 2, 3 double crochets 3 more times, so it makes 4 altogether, including this first one. We chain 1, we join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, finish off leaving a tail, and that's what we sew it on with. So I won't show you that one now, but if you want to try and have a go yourself before the next video, that's what the pattern is. So in the next video, we'll be sewing on the comb, we'll be making the beak and putting the beak on, and then we'll be making the tail and the strap. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. Not much more to go. I mean, it's over halfway done. And I'll see you in the next video.